Welcome back, Chris and DJ Show. Myself, Chris Shanafelt. He is former Chicago Bear, former NFL defensive back, DJ Moore. It's been quite a few months, actually, little over a year since we've last done this program, and happy to say that since last time we've chatted, DJ, I mean, the Chicago Bears have kind of found themselves in a totally new position to where they were just the last time that we spoke, which was a day or two after they hired their new head coach, Matt Nagy. So here we are, a year and a half removed. They finished 12-4, make a playoff appearance. Looked like it should have been more than just an appearance in the playoffs, but we'll talk about that and more in just a bit. But catching up with you a little bit, DJ, I mean, how's life? Last time we spoke, you were on the coaching end of things. Are you still doing that? Give us an update on, how's the life of DJ Moore lately?
A lot, man. Well, last year I did a little stint, another stint in high school football. It was fun. Did the DBs. We made the playoffs. Won the first playoff game, kind of on like a 45-yard field goal. Kicker was an awesome thing too. So like the kids excited about that. We ended up eventually losing the next week to the eventual state champion. So I decided really, and then I did basketball. My basketball season was good. On the court, off the court, we had a lot of drama. You know what I mean? So it's girls basketball JV. It was a lot of yippity yappy. But then in the season was good overall. I think we ended up being like 13-3. It was good because in the summertime we didn't win any games, and we probably played about 10 to 15 of them in the summer. So I was worried a little bit. But we played good. Did all right. I learned some things that I should never ever do again because I'm just really nice and giving kids too much of a rope, and they'll make sure they hang you with it. But no, man, it's been good. I help out coaching my kids run track. I help out with that. So watching 4, 5, and 6 year olds run 100, 200s and stuff. I mean, some of them are really fast. To see them, and my kids, got a little faster this year. To see that was exciting too. So I'm just out here coaching, trying to teach a little bit. I got a test coming up on the first, trying to teach middle school science. So I got to
Oh, nice.
pass my writing test, which should be interesting. So I'll be teaching for too long. So it'll be. I've been doing a lot, bouncing around a lot, figuring everything out. And
Oh,
actually, I meant to say that too, because last time you left me out to dry. That's why we didn't do the show. We had to get to the bones of that. I don't know what
what do you
happened with you,
mean?
man. Man, you just took off on me. We were doing the show. I remember you doing it was on like some little TV, little broadcast. You did like a little plug for it.
Oh,
And,
Jared
and
Payton,
then and then I
WGN.
and then I couldn't get a hold of you no more after that. So I don't know what had happened, man.
No. That's that's not what happened at all. But we're back at it,
Oh, okay,
and
okay, okay.
we'll just focus on that now, DJ. So, all
Left me out to dry
right.
now.
So, soon to be science teacher. I mean, did that kind of how did that work out? I mean, was that something that you kind of used your degree back when you were at Vanderbilt? I mean, was this something that you kind of envisioned once your playing career was over? Was that you're gonna get into
Oh no, I
teaching?
kind of stumbled into this one a little bit. So I didn't graduate at Vandy. So once I left Vandy, I had pretty much about a year or so left. But I mean, I didn't major in what I wanted to major in, what I knew I wanted to do, because I wanted to be a PE teacher. Is what I wanted to do. PE teacher, coach basketball or football, something like that. So once I went to the school here, USC Upstate, um, to finish up, essentially I almost had to start over. Other than the first year, I mean the first 2 years of college. And I was going to do the PE, but we had to take the praxis. I didn't know what I want to take the praxis. And then I got into strength and conditioning. So strength and conditioning, we learned a lot about. We did anatomy 1 and 2. It was like the nursing track, essentially what it is, and then you like split off into your own stuff. So we did a lot of anatomy, biomechanics, and stuff like that. So I was kind of scared at first when I first started because I didn't really never liked science like that. Then kind of fell in love with it, was tutoring people, and then one of the girls was like, man, you probably should teach. I'll look into it. And then I a lady, the mentor I had over at Broome that was helping me out with like the chemistry classes and stuff. But yeah, you should do like middle school because I want to teach, high school anatomy is what I wanted to do. And she was like, well, you get a job. It's easy to get like, middle school jobs or whatever. So, and I was like a teacher assistant this past year in middle school. So I'm trying. The middle school kids are ruthless, man. Like you don't understand. I mean, I'm sure you understand, but like middle school kids just don't. It's a pro like they're in between like trying to figure it out and yeah, last year the teacher assistant
Got to
was
steer them in the right direction, man.
man they you can't steer 'em when they got to drive. They got the steering wheel the whole time. It's hard, man. You got to take it from them. They ain't trying to give it up. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited about it. So and I think down here just a program where if you've graduated, you can take this program and because I passed the science part, so you just pay a couple, about $1,500 really, and then you take the test and you can teach. We losing a lot of them anyway. I think this is probably nationwide where teachers are falling by the wayside because they don't really pay them enough. But I'm excited about it. So, and only way I can be a head girls basketball coach is if I'm a certified teacher. So I need to pass this test.
Okay. So somebody kind of got in your ear and was like, "Hey, man, if you want this head job, you know."
Well, no, when I was tutoring people, I just enjoyed like seeing them do well. You know what I mean? Like even when I play basketball now, I'm more the guy that I don't shoot at all. Like I might shoot once in the first half, once in the second half. Like I enjoy other people. You know what I mean? Doing good, or you know what I mean? So thriving. So I think with teaching, getting kids to see that I guess learning is fun, but also I don't know, it's hard to explain because science and math are one of those things where kids just hate it or they don't hate it. Like it ain't no in between, you know what I mean? So to get them to tap into it, man, to get them to understand like this is life, like science is like life. Like, it's just how we got here. Like it's magic, you know what I mean? There's a Earth floating in the middle of nowhere. Like if that's not magic, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? So get them to understand that it's cool, man.
Yeah,
So it's interesting. So, but to get middle school kids to see it that way, it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, excited to hear more about it as the journey continues.
I'm gonna call me a
Um,
block.
Excited to carry this show on, though. Excited to bring this show back with you, DJ, and what we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to focus on the Chicago Bears, but throughout the season, we're also going to touch on topics and give our analysis on things going on around the NFL. We'll touch on other NFL teams, but again, this will be more so based on the Chicago Bears, and I guess we'll go ahead and jump right into it, DJ. I mean, last year. 12-4 finish in the regular season. I
Mm-hmm.
think they exceeded everybody's expectation. Certainly under year one with the new head coach. Year one for Mitch Trubisky in this new offensive system. It was his second year in the NFL. Again, I mean, a tough schedule playing in the NFC North, and again they were able to finish 12-4. Make their first playoff appearance since you last suited up for the team.
Mm-hmm.
It was their first playoff appearance since 2010.
Hopefully it
Uh,
don't go like that. For this, oh my word.
well, if that's the case, then I don't think Matt Nagy will have a job very much longer. If that holds true, but I don't think it will. But again, just because we weren't on the air last year, DJ, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the whole double doink. Cody Parkey missing the 43-yard field goal to win the playoff game at Soldier
It was
Field.
blocked. It was blocked.
It was blocked,
It
but
was
the kick
blocked.
shouldn't have been as low as it was. So the kicking experts say.
No, listen. The kick was blocked. It's 43 yards to Chicago, which you know how the weather is. Like you have to get it to go for. Because if I go too high, wind is always blowing. It is always blowing. That's why Robbie Gold was so good because like to be accurate in that weather, man, it's special. But to blame it on him, what the score was 16-15.
It was. Oh, don't get me wrong. The offense should have
Come on,
put up some more
like you're
points.
an offensive guru head coach with the with your the golden child at quarterback, and you can't put up points, man. Like there's nothing that I can't blame it on the kicker. And I remember them talking about them bringing kickers in and making them kick from 43 yards, and like it ain't his fault, man. It's yours. Like you have to despise of an offense that is gonna get it in the end zone. So I mean, you couldn't do that. So guess what? You kick a field goal, it's gonna get blocked. I mean, this is what it is. The kids get blocked all the time. He struggled all year. It's one of his first time struggling.
And
Like
they should
it's
have addressed that position before that playoff game. They should have known that, hey, if we keep this guy around, that could potentially bite us in the ass when we are in the playoffs, needing a field goal to win a football game.
well, and also they was playing against Nick Foles. It just
Don't.
he had his like, even though he's not always good in the regular season, in the playoffs, he's always proven to be. He steps up. Like even the next week he stepped up. I mean, after they lost, after what the Saints it was, but he still kind of had him on the ropes. So whenever Nick Foles, you give him a chance at the end of the game, and that's just kind of what it is. And we'll talk about, I think, Buster Shrine later, but if we probably had him, it may not happen that way. I know McManus, and I play with him, a good guy, but he's normally a special teams guy, and he's never out there playing, the nickel position, going to, really good receiver in the slot. I mean, that was taking candy from the baby for them. So it was a tough year. I think the momentum came from kind of the Khalil Mack trade. I think he brought. I feel like if he doesn't get traded to the team, then you may end up 9-7 or something. Because I think that momentum and the style of play that he brought, kind of he infused that in everybody, and the confidence in everybody. It seemed like everybody's confidence grew, even the cats that were struggling the year before. So, because when you have a pass rusher like that, man, like the quarterback don't have long. You just don't have long at all. I remember when I played with Peppers and stuff, and all the people that we had. Guess what? They ain't got long, so you ain't got to really worry about anything else but just playing your position and going to the ball.
You bring up Khalil Mack, and yeah, I mean, around here, that day will live on as Khalil Mack Day. It was, I believe 8 days before the regular season opener against the Green Bay Packers, and we wake up to a bunch of notifications from the top NFL reporters. Khalil Mack traded to the Chicago Bears. And like you said, it kind of re-energized this team, it seemed like. I mean, they went all throughout training camp, and they were kind of looking for that pass rusher. Was Leonard Floyd going to have that breakout year? Was Aaron Lynch going to really be that number one guy off the edge? And here Ryan Pace and the Bears make a huge splash move. They acquire Khalil Mack, arguably the top pass rusher in the NFL. How does that compare to when the Bears acquired Julius Peppers back in 2010 when you were on that team? How did that acquisition, what went on in the locker room? What was the excitement level like when that went down? And maybe that could shed some light as to what the Bears locker room seen last year.
Well, for me, it was excitement, but I think we had what thing was it Alex Smith? Was it Alex
Brown.
Smith again?
Brown.
Alex Brown. I'm sorry, Alex Brown.
Put some respect on his
Um,
name, man.
so we had I forgot the other cat name. Man, I can see his face too. So they were truly proven pass rushers. Tommy Harris. So I mean, we had proven pass rushers before he got there. So I mean, for me, I was used to. I mean, them cats get to the quarterback. Donajay, because he would come in, he play special team, but whenever he got in, he would get in and get in the backfield. So adding him was, I think it was a plus. I think he had been playing for a little while then, though, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
long ago was he playing then? So he had been playing for a little bit. In this situation, it's different because it's like getting Julius Peppers in like, because even though he was in his prime, but he was still kind of a little past it though. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like he was still good. It's like getting Julius Peppers like the first one. That is nuts. Like to say as a defensive back, it's like man, like you don't have much time for anything. And even getting Peppers late, like he was the most athletic cat I've ever seen. Like 300 pounds and like was running. We used to do drills all the time where you had to what you call it chase a rabbit, but it was like pursuit drill, and everybody had to run an angle. Oh, listen, he was coming to get cats. If you didn't run full speed, like he was amazing to see. But I can imagine like when Khalil Mack came and you expect people to do good. It's kind of like the lasagna thing. If you watch the game and everybody excited and you expecting somebody to do something, but it don't quite measure up all the time. But as soon as he got out there, it measured up. Then next week, you're like, okay, he measured up last week. What's gonna happen this week? He goes over and beyond that. And it's like, goodness gracious, he gonna keep going up. And he's doing something every week that make you go like, oh man, this is special. Or he's running down, even when they scoring, it seems like he's still chasing them and he's working hard and he don't take it, you know what I mean, don't take it for granted. So it was special, really special to see. Like, you know what I mean, first game he out there, it's just like, man, he had no training camp, no nothing. He just ready. So and you always kind of skeptical because like, man, they gave him a lot of money. Like, oh boy. Because either Albert Haynesworth or I guess it's Khalil Mack. Which one you gonna be? You know, you gonna get all the money and be lazy, or you gonna get all of them and be successful. So we benefited from it, and the Raiders as well.
Yeah, looking forward to that game in London this year against the Oakland Raiders. Would have been a lot of fun to see Khalil Mack go back to Oakland and wreak havoc there. But really looking forward to seeing what he's able to do. Obviously, not
Oh,
only
he'll
just
be
this
he'll be
year.
excited either way. He'll be excited either way. Like when you
Oh
go
yeah,
to
oh I'm
the
sure.
and it's just like you nervous, you excited, like it's like he'll be ready for it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, going up against John Gruden and the Oakland Raiders, uh, that'll be a sight to see, no doubt about it. Going back to that playoff game, really quick, DJ. We talked about the kicker, whether you want to blame it on him or not. There was there was there was
Come
there
on,
was
man.
there was doubt all season long whenever Cody Parkey went out and lined up for a kick. Um, there's
It's doubt
still
all year, but you still give him the
right.
opportunity. I mean, it's up to you. You the coach, man. You know what I mean? You think he gonna miss it? Don't kick it.
You're right. You're right about that. But that there's still a question at that position entering camp this year. Now entering camp last year, we thought that position was filled with Cody Parkey. They gave him a lot of money in the off season, and we've seen how that worked. This year they're without Cody Parkey, but they got a whole bunch of different guys. They traded for this second year kicker Eddie Pinheiro from the Oakland Raiders. We'll see if the Bears can get another laugh out of the Raiders, but I'm not so sure. So far, early on, again, we haven't even hit training camp yet, but early on in OTAs, mini camp, the three kickers that are currently under contract, it's not sounding like the coaching staff is very confident in them just yet. Should they go out? We all know Robbie Gould wants to come back to Chicago. San Francisco 49ers, they placed the franchise tag on him a few months back. He's made it known he wants to come back here. Should the Bears do whatever it takes to get Robbie Gould back in the navy blue and orange?
I don't know I mean, how much would it take, or how much money they got left, to spend? Because they don't pay a quarterback now, so he's young. So I would say, yeah, if there's he's somebody who understands the elements, of Chicago of the weather, and has been as accurate as he's been, and has the longevity that he's had. I would. To me, I think it makes sense, especially like you're saying, if you're frustrated with the people that you have because you're putting so much pressure on them. Like, and
Right.
I know people think it's easy, man. Oh, get out there and kick, man. You go out there and kick. Like that's hard. Now that is all you do, but imagine if I miss a kick, I go home. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. Because if I drop a pass, I probably get another one. But when you're a kicker and you miss an important kick, even when you was really good, this is probably it for you. So Cody Park, even though he's a good kicker, you like you said, he got paid in the off season. Now your career's over. Now you got to either write books or do talk shows or podcasts because nobody's gonna give. Nobody's gonna give you a chance. And I think for these kickers they have now, if you want to save the money, because a lot of times I would say the money will use it somewhere else. Because nobody needs a kicker until they need a kicker. So I mean, all those guys are gonna struggle. But did you every time they kick it, they yelling at you, they looking at you like, "Hey man, which one of y'all gonna miss this next kick?" I mean, it's tough, man. Like they literally know, like, hey, every time I kick it, man, I could be going home, or he could be going home, or the other guy could be going home. And you know the pressure that they build up because they're talking about it every day. Oh, okay, the kickers did what? They did this, this, and this. Man, that's rough, man. That's tough. So if you can bring Gold in and he wants to come back, but even with that, is what? It's still a toss up.
Right.
Because this year, it's a trend sometimes. It's missed kicks, or it's missed extra points, or it's fake punts, or fake this. And it seems like every year you have more people miss some more. So it's gonna be if you score a lot of points, I promise you won't need field goals. They won't be close enough.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That is true. Now, obviously, Robbie Gould, last time he was here in Chicago, he struggled. His last year here, he struggled quite a bit, and that's the reason why he was left to find a new team to join. Since leaving the Bears, he is the most accurate kicker in the NFL. So that's an avenue, certainly, I'm sure the Bears are maybe they're not considering, but I know they're certainly hearing a lot about it from the fan base. I mean, if you were here in Chicago, DJ, especially after that playoff game, I mean, it probably went a solid 2-3 months of Robbie Gould conversation here in Chicago. You're still going to hear it nowadays, especially with camp starting up in about 20 days. So we'll see what they do with that
Well,
position.
whatever they do, they just have to put confidence in somebody, and that's the thing. Because even with Goldie saying he struggled, well, that's just the way it is. Like sometimes you struggle. You know what I mean? So whatever, and that's my thing with three of them. It's like, you know what? Pick one. Say, hey man, here you go. Like we got confidence in you because if you have three of them, you just waiting for one to miss to bring the other one in, and
It's
it's
almost like
gonna
how
be
they say with
unfortunate.
quarterbacks. If you have what is it? If you have two, you don't have one, or whatever they say.
Yeah,
Back when there's a backup competing with the starter or whatever. Choose one and just go down that avenue and have confidence in that guy. So players report to Olivet Nazarene in
Olivet
Bourbonnais,
Nazarene.
July 25th.
Ooh-wee.
I've heard some great stories about the dorm rooms, whether it's the brown and green bathwater,
Man,
or
I never seen
the,
that.
well
Wow.
that's I believe Michael C. Wright, former beat writer for the Bears. He would always bring that up just about every year. I'm guessing you got a little bit more lucky than he did,
They fixed
DJ.
that.
Uh, Bourbonnais, Illinois. You miss spending your summers down here?
Man, I did enjoy it, man. It was a tough time, but I think I came in a time where you couldn't have, 2 days and all that. Well, we had 2 days, but we did like you either have like one hard, like full padded practice, and the other one be like a walk through 7-on-7 type thing. So we didn't go like full out like 2 days. And I think the second year they made a rule where you couldn't have 2 days, and then I think the third year was like you couldn't, like you would go a certain amount of days, and then you had to be off a day. Like he was like 3 days off one day. So I mean, it didn't even feel like him. Now that first year, it was just like 15, 16 days straight. Like wake up at about 6, get out of means at 10, eat like a snack, go to sleep about 10:30, wake up and do that again for like 15, 16 days straight. Just like you feel wore out like every day, and it was And then after practice, we had, I think it was Cutler first year, and we had probably like 10, 15,000 people at training camp, and they yelling and screaming. They don't even know who you are, but they still want autographs, and you gotta walk past them. If you don't stop, they mean, look kids, all disrespectful, like just like, hey man, like I'm tired, man. I gotta, like if I sign this, I gotta go eat, and I gotta get to this meeting like at 6. Like I can't. Then it's grown men running over babies to get to you. It's like, man, this is intense. So and then the dorm room is a dorm room. Like, and when you young, you gotta stay like upstairs. So if you got anything, you gotta walk all the way up the steps. Ain't no elevator. And so the more years, every year, you just kind of move downstairs, which is kind of cool. You kind of move down or whatever. Um, Man, you just tired all the time, man. Playing video games every now and again, tired.
Give us some dirt, DJ. Give us some juicy stories. I think a couple years ago, I want to say it was Peanut. I think he said that he played a trick or some type of prank on Urlacher. He brought like I want to say it was a tarantula, placed it in his bed, something like that. He was on one of the Chicago sports radio
Okay.
shows here a while back and shared that story. I want to say it was Peanut, and he did it to Urlacher. Anything like that come across your dorm room?
No, man. I really didn't even do none of that there, man. Cause I think with the rookie, when I was especially my first year, man, you were just trying to make sure you made the team, really. The craziest thing that happened to me was I came like overweight. I think I had been lifting or whatever, and it's just I think I posted, but he wanted me at 184, and I was like 187. So that night I ran, I had a trash bag on, I slept with it on. Because if you overweight, every day you got to get up and you got to weigh in, like at 6 or whatever, just like every day. So I weighed in that morning, I was good.
Do you get fined if you were overweight, like
Yeah, I think it was
the Albert
500.
Hainsworth
Yeah, it
whole
was
story?
500, I think, a pound. So I think you can either do weight or you can do body fat. If you under your body fat, then your weight is fine or whatever. But I think you had to be like maybe like 5 to 8% body fat, which is nothing. Um, so I mean, it was yeah. Cause I really wanted to be heavier, cause I played nickel a lot. So I mean, I don't want to be like 184. I mean, I got to get in here and tackle these cats when I really don't want to do it in the first place. Just at least give me 3 pounds. But yeah, I remember doing that, cause there was a couple guys that got there and they was overweight and they sent them home like just like that. Weighed in, overweight, you was gone. Like man, that was super fast. But other than that, I don't know. All the rookies, and you get all the people who wrap your feet that their first time taping your foot, and the interns. You know what I mean? You get kept by to cut your circulation off. Um, but other than that, it was just like a regular dorm room, man. I don't think I had a roommate though. No, you didn't have a roommate. But that was good though. No roommate. 'Cause I feel like in Carolina I may have a room. No, I didn't have a roommate. I feel like I had a roommate somewhere for some reason.
I want to say they give the rookies a roommate now, if not maybe for just rookie minicamp or minicamp itself. It might not be for training camp.
It might
At
not. It
least
might not change.
now
I
it
feel
is.
like we just went up because I think for a grown man, I think you just can't give him a room. Like I think it's so stressful, you just can't do it. And then you got people arguing with their girlfriends or almost girlfriend. You know what I mean? It's a lot. You got to give people their space. You know what I mean? So it was a good time because it was nothing to do. Like even if you just so happened to sneak out, there was nothing.
Yeah. No,
I
I
mean,
think
it was oh my word, it was nothing.
yeah. No, there's I think there's a Dairy Queen down the street from Olivet, and that's about it. I don't think there's very much in Bourbonnais, Illinois, besides Olivet Nazarene University.
Oh no, me and Earl, was it Earl? It was somebody. We went to a strip club down there. Like no joke, it was the funniest thing ever because it was in like a old barn, and when you come in, you don't really. It didn't look. I mean, they were selling like candy at like concessions. It was weird. It was really weird. It was, it was weird. Like you had to like be there. I can't explain it to you because even the one was like, when the lights off, you can't really tell how old somebody is, and then when they kind of come on, like, oh my god, like you are aged a little bit. But it was man, listen, it was a fascinating experience, man. So yeah. I'm sure I don't know if they still open, but I mean, I guess But it was something. I don't even know what it was called.
Don't lie. I mean, they probably have your jersey up in the rafters in this secret spot that you mentioned.
No, I only went once. Man. No, I was a strip club goer now, but I only went there once. I mean, it was just like you had to see it. Like it was a no, no, this ain't right. But yeah, no, man, not the jersey. I don't have the jersey. The NFL ain't going for that now. You got the jersey and the shirt. That's it. Come
I
on,
think
man.
James Harden, NBA, but James Harden has his jersey hung up in a couple of them.
That's cool. He must be strong. Have you been with one before?
I have.
Like a couple or just one?
Two, yeah, two.
What kind? What kind was it though?
They weren't the best.
Oh, okay. Well, it's because if he has his jersey up, it's a variety. I'm
It
sorry.
was
There's
probably yeah.
a more black one or more because in the black one, it's a lot of it's interesting. Like you have to, like when you, it's just because people like just the money. I mean, it's fascinating, man. Because in the white one, it's a little more secretive. Like the money, I think it changes hands the same, but it's more like you know what I mean. It's a little more secret. You gotta see it. If you ain't seen it, man, you have to see it. If you get down to Miami, I think it's what is it? Um, King of Diamonds, I think it was. I don't know if it's still open. And then like Atlanta has 100,000 of them. But yeah, man. You know what? Let me get off. All right. My wife in the background.
All right, we'll share this experience together next time we reconnect. All right. Anyways, getting back on track. Bears report. Bears report. 20 days from now, if I'm not mistaken. I got the date right here. Okay, a little less than 20 days from now. July 25th, Bears report to Olivet Nazarene University for their training camp. Looking at the Bears roster as it stands right now, DJ, I mean, 90 guys are reporting to camp. By the time the regular season rolls around in September, that number will almost be cut in half to a 53-man roster, 46-man active roster. One big change that was made to this team was to the defensive backfield. Adrian Amos, he signed a monster deal with the Green Bay Packers, and the Bears decide to grab a former Packer who spent half of last season with the Washington Redskins, Clinton Dix, to replace him and to line up alongside Eddie Jackson in the defensive backfield. A lot of people think that this might actually be an upgrade over Adrian Amos, in the fact that Clinton Dix might actually fit this system better than Amos did. And again, the Bears do have a new defensive coordinator coming in as well, with Pagano filling the shoes of Vic Fangio. So, as a former defensive back, DJ, what are your thoughts on losing out on Adrian Amos and the addition of Clinton Dix? And will there be much of a drop off at that safety position?
I don't think so. I think you got what is that? Two Alabama guys back there now.
Right.
So I think they had. I think did they play together? At some
Uh,
point,
I
Alabama they have played
I
together.
think they did, but it was Eddie Jackson's freshman year, and I don't think he's seen many defensive snaps.
Oh, okay. So I think they'll work together. They'll reminisce on, you know what I mean, understanding, oh, they went to Alabama, blah, blah. But it's all about communication. I'm sure with Amos and Eddie Jackson, they understood, like, hey, man, look, you're better back here, and I'm better up here. To me, with Howard Clinton Dix, I feel like he's more in line with Eddie Jackson, where they're both kind of ball hawking safeties. Now, Howard Clinton Dix, I think he's going to have to come down and play maybe more of the strong safety role, but when you can interchange them and not know where Eddie Jackson is, and not just say, okay, he's in the middle of the field. All I got to do is move my eyes and move him. Now he can be down in the box. Maybe he can come off on the blitz, and then you have hire Clinton Dix back deep. Or and I know with Magano, when I worked out for him when he was with the Colts, they were they were cover two base. So when you cover two base, you need what? You need two safeties back deep that can kind of move, and play, and play that style of defense. So you got two safeties to do that. Um, so it's gonna be. I think Amos was really good, but I think he was more so like, "Hey, I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna hit you." He a line. He's just a linebacker. So I feel like in terms of like turnovers, yes, it's probably upgrade. Man, it stands to see like what he'll be kind of in the run game, but with the defensive guy, Roquan Swift and the younger guys, stepping up. It won't be too many, footballs that get past the linemen and the linebackers to even get to him. So I think with them two guys, You can interchange, and it'll be interesting to see kind of what happened because of last year's defense was really good. I mean, it's going to be high expectations, new defensive scheme because everybody's scheme isn't the same, and you still have to learn, even though it's the same plays or the same coverages. They want you to know their stuff. Like I call it this. I don't want to hear about nothing else what it was called. I think it's always a learning curve, but I think Bogano is a smart guy. He'll come in and understand, like, okay, this is what y'all did good. And that's a good thing about, especially about NFL coaches, man. Like, they understand and you analyze yourself before you do anybody else. So I'm sure he's watched film on everybody to know, okay, this is what you do good, this is what you don't do good, and this is how you kind of fit into my system. And more than anything else, hey, man, I want to keep you playing fast like you was last year. So Eddie Jackson probably had a little more free reign than he did even last year. Like he one of them Palomalu type of like, hey man, I just trust your judgment. Like you got to play within the scheme, but if you see something, I need you to like you've done good enough where you can just go and just do your thing. So I think they'll work out fine.
You said expectations are going to be high for not only this defense but this team as a whole. I don't know, since I've been kind of following around the team, I don't know if expectations have really ever been higher entering a season, coming off of the season that they just had last year. I mean, there's so many what ifs that you could play into last season, and I think that just makes for even more excitement for this upcoming season. But the turnovers that this defense created last year, I mean, Eddie Jackson alone, it can't be realistic to expect that once again this season. Can it really be? I mean, it's so, especially
Um,
on the defense side of the ball, it's so hard to make those plays year in and year out.
I think it is, but to me he reminds you of a young Ed Reed. You thinking like, man, he shouldn't be doing this. But then every year he keeps on doing it. Now, with Ed Reed, what did he have? You had Ray Lewis, you had Suggs, you really good everything around you. So with Eddie Jackson, guess what he has? He has good everything else around him that will allow you to go and make plays. I remember watching, cause I used to watch Ed Reed before every game. Like he used to do stuff like where he would pick off a slant. Like he's a deep safety. You know what I mean? Like so he was given like just run and just go and and make plays. Now the thing about Eddie Jackson is what he understands is like you don't have much time. I got the Mac attack. You're gonna have Floyd on the other side who's kind of coming along. You have the defensive line pressure at the middle. Oh, what's his name?
Akeem Hicks,
Yes, he
man,
is tough.
oh, he's
So you got it coming. You got it coming. You can't step up because he's really dominant. Like they can't nobody can block him. So you got your best pass rush in the game coming on one side, a young guy that can really run coming off the other side. Like you don't have time to look me off. And if you understand that, when you look, I need to be going. And if I understand the route concept, I'm gonna make an interception. Now sometimes you may have time and pump and get me, but more times than not, I'm gonna get you because if you fake it, well, guess what? You probably getting strip sacked, and you don't. I mean, you don't want that. And the quarterbacks, understand that. Like, oh, I got to look you off, but I just don't have. I mean, I just truly don't have time to do it.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I mean, the similarities between, and of course, Roquan's not Ray Lewis yet. Eddie Jackson isn't Ed Reed yet, hopefully. But I mean, there are these pieces on this team. Terrell Suggs, Khalil Mack. I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, there's you got more than just one or two names on the defense side of the ball. You can kind of just ramble on with the teams, with the names and the talent that this defense has. A player, DJ, that's been a really big hot commodity. You don't really see it out of a player that's taken in the sixth round of the NFL draft, but this year it's been a little different, at least with the Bears fan base, and that's rookie defensive back Duke Shelley out of TCU. Not sure if you've been able to watch much of him or not, but many in the fan base and even in the media out there are saying that they expect him to at least challenge Buster Screen for the nickelback position right from the gate. Buster Screen, obviously former Jets, former Browns nickelback that signed a two-year deal here in Chicago. And Matt Nagy was actually on record last year preparing for the Jets game, saying that Screen was one of arguably the top nickelback in the league. Do you agree with that? I'm curious, as a former nickelback yourself, I'm sure that's a player that
That's the
you've
former
watched
best
or
nickelback in the league. You know what I mean?
what's yeah. You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah,
You are
yeah.
right.
You're
You
right.
are right. The
You're
best
right.
nickelback. For how about
Um,
a former great nickelback, a former best nickelback in the NFL? What say you?
I think he's. It's hard for me because I think we were two different style, and I was more for of a zone guy. Like I just like I understand concepts. I understand like what you were trying to do. I understand what our defense was doing, and I just and I understand it more so from a zone because I was a good ball reader. He's played a lot of man, like a lot. Jets has played a lot of man. I think it was with Cleveland. It was a lot of man and man. So for him, he should be really good in space. Like he's gonna play a lot of man, play tight to you. You know what I mean? So with Pagano, if he does a lot of the covers two stuff that I've seen him do, we'll he'll adjust to like the zone stuff, which I think he wasn't even playing for 9 years. But you can tell, I think in his career in the sense he may have nine, I believe.
That sounds
You
about
gotta
right.
you gotta think about it. In 9 years, in 9 years he had nine. I only played five. Really, only played three, and I got 10 because it's not because I'm just all wear better than him. I'm playing zone because I can see the ball come out. For him, he just played a lot of man to man defense. So I think he would have been useful in the Eagles game playing man to man at the end. I'm thinking if you'd have had him, well, you probably
Yeah,
want to call the ball on him.
yeah. I
So
mean,
I think he understands it from that standpoint, and I'm sure he's a veteran. And when the coach think that highly of you, that's like when I think that highly of you. Listen, when you come in, and I know the rookie, and he may and challenge you. Listen, when coach think that highly of you, they should. It's your job. It's just what it is. Even if a rookie is really good, like I brought you in, like you're a rookie still to this team. So I think it'll be, dumb not to, first put him out there. Now you can, if he struggled a little bit, have him come in and if he can, thrive because it's really not about camp. It's not about doing really good at camp because you should. Every day we go to the same people. They do the same plays. Eventually you gonna know them. I mean, even if you do good in the preseason, if you do good in the preseason for a rookie, just saying like, oh yeah, you belong, but wait. Now, if you're pressed in, you go, but you do really good, just wait. Now, if you do really, really good, you know what? I might have to look at it. Coaches are talk. You know what? We'll see. They'll probably get you in the game. You do good in the game. You know what? You know what I mean? Here you go. The keys are yours. But normally, with a veteran 9 years and how good he's played, especially man, it's hard to find anybody play man, especially in the slide. It's like playing one on ones because they can go every direction and you put your number one receiver on the inside. So essentially, he's kind of like your number one corner because the quickest pass is always from you to the slot receiver. So they make it tough and they value it now. I wish they would have valued it as much as when I was playing, but
I was just about to
you
say.
get paid for it now. So.
I was just about to bring that up, DJ. I mean, it really does seem like the past 3 4 years that slot nickel position has really upped in value. Why do you think that is? Is it just the new style of offenses that they're trying to target the slot receivers, the tight ends more often nowadays? Why is that slot nickelback position more valuable now than maybe it was 6 7 years ago?
I think it's a couple. I think the first thing is everybody is a hybrid, so they can do everything. So I can block, I can run routes. And a lot of times with nickel, you just call me a baby backer. So you got to get in there and know your fits for the run. You got to know where it is for the pass. Again, like you said, it's a different game. They're passing the ball a lot. Because even when I was out there, it was passing the ball. I probably was out. I didn't start, but I probably played probably 65% of the plays. Now you can call me a starter because if they start in base defenses, it is what it is. Um, Also, they're moving their number one receiver normally five inside. Like to be a good receiver, you got to do what? As wild, I got to go in. So when it's third down, well, the nickel back, you're gonna probably get their best stuff and from their best receiver, and they'll move them in. So you got to have somebody that not only can play but can play in a lot of space. On third down, if it's third and short, 6 or less, you're probably gonna play man-to-man defense. They can go two ways. You can run across the field. You can run this way. Short, quick routes, bunch routes. So you got to understand, also be able to understand concepts. You got to be a little bit smarter than everybody else. Because you in the slot, understand your leverage and, kind of what coach wants you to do. So it is interesting. I think it was valued then, but now they understand like, hey, it's kind of, as the slot receiver has come along, so has the nickel. But if the nickel kind of lag behind, it's like, oh, we got slot receivers. Like, oh, we need somebody to cover them. Now we value you because, like, you quick, they quick, and our big outside 6'3" corner isn't good in this spot. But the smaller guy or somebody who is quicker or understand the concept, is. So it's good. The guy that I think when I was playing was probably the best. Because I was okay. I was good, but he was probably the best nickel with Charles Woodson, but he was big, but he could do everything. He would play safety, nickel, and they would let him do a lot, which he was impressive to watch him, when he was with Green Bay playing nickel, because I think he might have even won Defensive Player of the Year. But he was everywhere.
Yeah, and what was obviously a big part of not only the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl team, but the Oakland Raiders back when they went 10, 12 years ago, whenever that was. Switching to the offensive side of the ball, DJ. I know you love it. So obviously last year 2 for Mitch Trubisky. Year
Mitch.
1 under Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's rookie year in terms of being a head coach. And you've seen some rookie mistakes out of Nagy when it came to play calls and how they lost that first game against Green Bay was just a total upset by not only the players but the coaching staff as well. Again, I'm not sure I've seen a Bears fan base more excited to get a season started than this year. Has Trubisky, and I'm laughing because I feel like I know the answer. Has he grown on you yet? I know year 1 you weren't much of a fan. Year 2 he did make some strides, and I think year 3 we should only expect even more as he gets more comfortable with this offense. Has Mitch Trubisky grown on you yet, and what are your expectations for him as he enters year 2 in the Matt Nagy offense?
Well, I think he should improve. Do I think he is going to improve? I don't. And I know a lot of people are high on him. They just really are. And we talked about it before he went on. I just think right now you judging everybody off Patrick Mahomes and Alex Smith. Like you either or this guy or you this guy. It's kind of really no in between. Or you the franchise guy. To me, I think he the placeholder. I think he the Alex Smith. I think if you can get him to make less mistakes, I think last year, 2018, now his stats went up. So in 17, he was 59%. He had a little over 2,000 yards, 7 interceptions, 7 touchdowns. 2018, 66%. Went up about 1,000 yards, 3,000, a little over 3,000 yards, 24, touchdown, 12 picks. And if that ratio good, it's really what is that, 2-to-1? So every time I throw 2, I throw 1. I don't think it's good. In a pass-happy league, and I know he missed some games, it's 24, a lot of touchdowns. Probably not. Even I think I looked up before, I think Derek Carr numbers, even though Derek Carr struggled, and they said he was, but I think his numbers were, when you look at his numbers was better. Now, he did make the Pro Bowl. You know what I mean?
Probably like the seventh
He was a
alternate.
12 and it was a 12 and 14, and he was a quarterback. Now again, we've seen this before. We've seen more Sanchez be a quarterback on a playoff team with the Jets with a really good defense, but they'll give you the credit as long as the team is winning. You're the quarterback, so you're the figurehead of that team. There were games. I think the Bucks. I mean, he might have threw 6 touchdowns. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the highlights or whatever. But you threw six
I
touchdowns.
mean, yeah, he
That's a
threw
lot.
6 touchdowns, but I mean that defense was god awful, man.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it's NFL.
Right,
You threw
right.
6 touchdowns. There were certain teams um, that he did fine against. Now against really good defenses, yeah, I think he struggled a little bit. Now is that him struggling or is it Nagy struggling? So this year, they've been in a relationship for a year. The second year, hopefully, the sex is still new. It's a good relationship. You know what I mean? So I think I'm just not sold on him because just honestly, and if I had to choose, I just think he's more of an Alex Smith guy. When he got hurt, I didn't see any difference in the offense. I thought the offense was the same with the backup. With Chase Daniels, I thought Chase Daniels did okay. I think he did what Trubisky would have done in those situations. It just didn't look different to me. So he might take that step this year. And if he can, 12-4. I don't know if they'll go 12-4 because I just think Green Bay was down. Even Minnesota, even though they made the playoffs, they looked down because their defense was down. They didn't seem quite right. Now Detroit is Detroit. They may make a surprise. They just, I think Matt Stafford is terrible, but whatever. Other people like him. I don't get it. He'll get paid, but he don't win games, and
Right.
then it's like, what? He got a strong arm, like everybody does. He's a quarterback, duh. But I want him to do good. I just don't. I don't think he's the guy, man. I just don't. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. I won't be, but
Hopefully, hopefully.
hopefully I'm wrong. And Nagy draws some plays to get Tariq Cohen in more because for some reason when he's in, he's running wild, but for some reason he's on the sideline. It seems like more times than not, which doesn't make sense to me.
Now, I'd like to get your
Um,
take. I thought we were going to see a lot of Tariq Cohen at that slot receiver position last year. That's something I was kind of expecting. We didn't see nearly as much of that as I thought we would. Is that something you would like to see this offense kind of draw up?
no, I think they have really good receivers. What's the real fast cat from
Taylor Gabriel?
Gabriel? You got Robinson. You got I think Miller. So they have good
Right.
receivers, and Gabriel is probably the fastest cat in the league, I believe. Like he can float.
I interviewed him when he came out of college. I think he ran a 4.25 40 at his
Yeah,
pro day.
yeah, and we've seen like that's the guy that I want to see. I want to see the Atlanta him because
Right.
the Atlanta him was spectacular. Like they put him in situations to where he could be that guy. To me, you would think Nagy would be that guy because the Andy Reid, you got he can be the Tyreek Hill of this team because you would think the speed is about. I mean, that's the closest thing to it. Um, Tariq Cohen is unique in the way that you don't put him in a slot because if you put him in a slot, he's a little more predictable. But if you put him in the backfield, you can motion him out. Or if they put another cornerback in, you can motion them back in. You can run the ball, and they have one less really tackling physical defender, to stop the run. So you can disguise it in a way, or he wouldn't. He's like, oh, well, she gonna have to block. Like no, like every time he releases, somebody needs to be close to him. So you can do a lot of things with having him in the package, but also having your three receivers where you have a Darren Sproles, somebody that's really dynamic that can do it on an every down basis. Like whenever you see him out there, you just want him because when he gets the ball, it's just you hold your breath every single time. It's just like, man, he's the best player on the field, but they don't. It seems like they don't want to give him credit for it because he's like, you know what, you're small. That's what I feel like they're saying. Like you're small, so I'm gonna put this little package in for you. Like no, man, like this cat is really good. Like he's proven that. So just let him. To me, just let him play, be an every down back, man, and work your offense around it and be dynamic. Like you, I mean, you're the young upstart offensive guru. Like man, show me something, Club Def. Come on now.
Yeah, something that you said that stood out is, whenever Cohen gets the ball, you never know what could happen. And while the Bears now have a lot of playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and they did a year ago, but his rookie year, he was making plays back then as well. And that was probably the first player the Bears had since Hester, where I felt whenever he gets the ball, he could run side to side. You never know. He might find a hole and break it for a score. I think Cohen's the first player that they had since Hester. Again, now obviously they got this Taylor Gabriel, Anthony Miller, Allen Robinson. They got players now. But in terms of his rookie year, I mean, the supporting cast
Well,
around.
no, he is like even with those guys, I think he is by far the best player on the team, especially offensively. Um, like I think he's just a special kid. Like you just have to, like it's certain people that you see him and like, okay, like no, he's a little bit different. Like you're the smallest, but the most explosive. You can't tackle him. He runs hard, and unlike Hester, and I love Hester to death. I think Hester struggled a little bit. If Hester wasn't doing punt returns, like he struggled. Like on a kickoff punt return, it looked amazing. But if he just caught a pass, sometimes it didn't seem like he knew where to go. This cat, kickoff, punt, it doesn't matter. When he get the ball on offense, he just knows. He just seems like he knows, where to go, with the ball. I mean, he's always down here. He always breaking tackles. So I just think you got to feature him a little bit more, man. Honestly, and I think he'll like you said, like his rookie year. It was just every week. It's like, man, what did he do this time? Again, again, again. And when you get the punt, it's like, oh, here we go. So I think he's a special player. And I think if you, like I said again, you're offensive guru. Like you have to put something together to where you can utilize these weapons, and if you can utilize him on a down and down basis, he's a mismatch. Imagine, to me, think about it. Imagine if Belichick had him. You know what I mean? That's how I think about. Like you just like, well, that would be nuts.
Yeah,
Even though he'll probably shut the backfield with 40 people, but still, it would be nuts because with James, I think it's James White. Whenever James White get it, it's a different style of offense. He don't have to block. He go out for passes. Like he, to me, like the James White kid is like the one that kind of seems like he always changes it. He always makes the mismatches happen. He's that dynamic of a player to where he can just like change everything for you, but you gotta have him out there more. I think.
well, it's going to be even more interesting this year as we now know Jordan Howard is now with the Philadelphia Eagles. They traded him for a conditional sixth-round draft pick. And, of course, they plan to fill his shoes with not only Tariq Cohen, but they spent their third-round draft pick on David Montgomery, the running back out of Iowa State, who a lot of people are comparing to Matt Forte, one of your former teammates, a former Bear himself as well as Mike Davis, running back. They signed from the Seattle Seahawks in free agency. They signed him either the first or second day of free agency, a name that kind of surprised people to go off the board so quickly. So that kind of tells us that the Bears, at least Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace, they thought highly of him to sign him early on in free agency. So they have this three-headed backfield. They call it Run DMC with David Montgomery, Mike Davis, and Tariq Cohen. Will this be, in your opinion, a three-headed backfield? I personally think it will be. I think it will be a change of pace week to week type of thing. If I had to choose a favorite in this competition, probably David Montgomery, but there's no way you leave a guy like Tariq Cohen and we just boasted about him over the past 5-6 minutes about what he can do on the offensive side of the ball and the different types of things that he brings to the offense. There's no way you leave a talent like that off to the side. So with that said, I almost think that week to week. You're going to kind of see a different running back in the backfield game by game.
Well, the Run DMC group, how many members they got alive right now?
I couldn't tell you. Two? Okay.
I think one of them got killed. But either in the rest of it, is it like it's just I think it's just too many. The name sounds really cool. I mean, if it works out that way, that is awesome. The Run DMC, you know what I mean? It's like Kevin Durant, like he's not a splash brother. He's just another piece. You know what I mean? I don't think it's enough carries to go around though. I don't think with Tariq Cohen, it's like okay, you already know third down is his. All right, so you can cut that out. If the other guys like Matt Forte, the thing about Matt Forte was really good. Like he could run, he could catch, like he was like every down back. So if the guy from Alabama State is every down back, then then where does that leave with you? Or now is he just a punt returner or is he a specialty player? Where does that leave? The Davis, oh, is he okay? I got long yardage, I got short yards, and I got a medium yardage back. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't. It's hard. I think running back, everybody want that rhythm. And Run DMC, even though rhythm, Run DMC, the music group, I tell you what, I just don't know, man. You know what I mean? So I think two of them can survive. One of them gonna have to go. No pun intended on that. But one of them has to. One of them has to go. I think. But it's three. How many backs they normally three? Well, somebody ain't drafting out. That's what I'm jumping. Somebody gonna have to sit back. So I guess we'll see at camp, but it'll be interesting. But I think the cream always rises to the top, and I think that'll be Tariq Cohen.
All right, and looking at receivers before we wrap the show up, DJ. Again, it's really quite impressive how the front office and coaching staff have been able to really shore up this the receiving depth chart just within the matter of a year and a half now. You take a look at the depth chart. 2017 season, your top two receivers, Cam Meredith, Kendall Wright, and Kevin White, and now I mean,
What happened to Kevin White? Wow.
Kevin signed with the Arizona Cardinals. He's gonna see what Cliff Kingsbury has to do with him. But anyways, I mean, just looking at the receiving depth chart then to now. It's day and night. I mean, the talent that's on this offense now with Allen Robinson, Gabriel, Anthony Miller. They drafted Riley Ridley in the 4th round, who at the time many thought was probably the best player on the board when the Bears chose him. Not many thought he would fall to the 4th round, and not to forget Cordero Patterson as well, a guy that I mean, I could see him making possibly taking some snaps out of the backfield. We'll see. I mean, so much talent on the offense side of the ball, so much talent at wide receiver. Any chance one of these vets are battling for their position on this roster? I mean, a lot of people are excited for what Patterson can bring to this offense. He's a name that you haven't really heard too much of. Again, we haven't even hit training camps, so that could be why. Taylor Gabriel has still a couple more years left on his contract, as does Allen Robinson. I don't see those two guys going anywhere, but if I had to choose one, and you don't necessarily need to, if I had to choose one, I would think it'd have to be, the logical choice would be Patterson, but maybe they all
for
make
him, I think if you watch the game, did he run back a kickoff?
Yeah, he did when he was just last season with New England.
Now, and I think he's from South Carolina too. Matter of fact, Raquel. He's a different player because he in a sense he's a bigger Tariq Cohen. Like he return kicks and stuff like that. Like he's really good in open field. Now he hasn't been known for his route run or anything like that. So essentially, he'll make the team because he's a specialty player. Now, if he gives you anything extra, then that's great. So I think
he's on a cheap deal too, somewhat.
Yeah. So even though he's a really, I think he's a really good talent. He just hasn't proven himself at the receivers. He's almost like Hester in a sense. Like he's just really good at special teams. Now he's not as like Hall of Fame Hester level, but he's really good at at special teams. So like he's going to be on the team because like what he does. I think the receivers are kind of solidified because of what they did last year. Robinson at what about 750 something like that receiving yards. You got the young kid, I think, was it Miller? He got the shoulder surgery. So is he gonna be good? Do you do good from year one to year two? But receivers is kind of weird. Like it seems like receivers, they always do good their first year, and then they may struggle after that, and then they may pick it up depending on kind of who it is. Ridley, one of those guys at Georgia who kind of he came on late
Hmm.
at Georgia, like because at the beginning he didn't seem good, and then I think they had the game against I think Bama a couple years ago, like maybe in his like junior year or something like that, where he kind of put it all together, and he kind of put it all together for real. And then his brother's playing, so he has kind of that pedigree, which is always interesting. And it was fascinating to watch the draft too. Like man, everybody's daddy played like this like wow. Man, people are
The
getting trained.
bloodlines, man, bloodlines.
Man, yeah. So it's really good, but I think it boiled down to Nagy and Trubisky. Can you despise offense that fits everybody into it? It's almost like I called it like the Golden State of I guess of football. When Atlanta was doing it, it just seemed it was just beautiful, man. Like everybody seemed open. Everybody had different rounds. It seemed like he was throwing to a different receiver every time, and everybody shooting fadeaway threes and they going in. And Gabriel, I think that's kind of what got him papers. He just was like in that system. It was just like special to see him. So I think it's just really up to now. You got the talent. Now it's just up to hey, you a guru. You gotta be a guru, man. You can't be Mike Morris and come and say you're a guru and then we don't do nothing. So you can't live off the guru name tag. I learned a lot of people do. They live off that guru name tag. Like, yeah, I coach Kurt Warner, Marshall Falk, and Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. I was a genius. Yeah, yeah, you was.
Yeah, I
But
mean
those
that
great players, So, but once they give you the tag, they give you the tag, man.
yeah, that
Come on.
Mike Martz, man, he still rubs me the wrong way trading Greg Olson.
Yeah, I thought it was bad. Now Greg Olsen wasn't the toughest fella. Now, because in Chicago, I think they wanted like a tough type. Like and I think Cutler suffered because of it. Like he was like they were good friends, and if he can throw it to anybody, man, he was hosting. And when we was winning and making things happen, it was Cutler to Olsen. So it was a shock. And I remember when matter of fact, being at Camp Nazarene or whatever. And it might have been like the first day, man. You coming through there, and you see him, you like, yeah, man. I just got traded. Like what? Like I mean, it was unreal. Like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you even let me move in. Like kept playing. Like why would he do that? You don't have receivers getting open anyway. Like he's the only one that. But because I think if you keep him, it just makes Jay Cutler a different player. You kind of look at him a different way. Even though I think he's an all-time leading passer. I think,
yeah, yeah.
which is
It doesn't
which is
say much
strange.
though with the history of Bears quarterbacks, but it's still you still got that record, still got that title.
Yeah. So yeah, good old mixed bag. All right, you right.
You talked to your buddy Jay lately?
No, I never talked. I never really talked to him when I was there, man. Like I didn't always enjoy his company. It was brief most of the time, but I didn't really mind. You know what I mean? He's kind of kept with stuff a little bit. So, but I'm sure now he's probably a little more mellow. Look back on your life, like you know what? I was a dick a little bit. That's how I had to look back on it because I was like that myself. Because it was hard for me to get along with a lot of people. Well, not a lot of like teammates with coaches in general. Me and coaches had choice words at times. So I was like, man, what was I thinking about? But you learn, you live. You learn, you live.
Hey, we brought up Greg Olson quickly. I just want to touch on the tight end position. I'm not too sure what to think about the Bears tight end situation. They have Trey Burton, who had a pretty decent year last year, missed the playoff game. You know, I forget the exact reasoning. The details actually just recently came out, like within like the last month, exactly why he missed it. But a lot of people thought that he was just had a nervous breakdown and just wasn't ready mentally to take on his former team, and that's what the storyline seemed to be up until about a month and a half ago. Behind him, you got Adam Shaheen, who they drafted in the second round a couple years ago. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. Hasn't really been able to show anything when he has been healthy on the field. And then after him, you got a couple undrafted guys. One, Dax Raymond out of Utah State, who his game actually, in my opinion, compares to the likes of Trey Burton. But anyways, I mean, a lot of questions surrounding that position right there, DJ. We know about the importance of the tight end position in today's NFL. Matt Nagy seemed to like to target a guy like Trey Burton last season. With the weapons that Trubisky already has to throw to in terms of receivers and what he has in the backfield at running back. I mean, could they kind of get away with not having a spectacular tight end in this offense?
I don't think so. I think what he's looking for is Travis Kelce. He's looking for that guy that makes you everything work in your offense. Like I can't guard him, so I can't really double anybody else. That would make the Kansas City so like you can't double anybody. Like everybody's killing you right now. And when you have a really good tight end, oh man, the world is your oyster. Like there's nothing that you can do. It's just like what am I gonna do? I put a smaller guy, he's too big. I put a big guy, he's not fast enough. And a lot of times these tight ends, kind of like we were talking about Greg Olsen or Travis Kelce, like they can run. Like it ain't just regular. Like when they catch it, like they're gone. So I'm sure when he got Trey Burton, he was thinking that he was gonna be, that type of guy. But even if they can trade for a tight end and do whatever they can and get like a star tight end, I think that's something that'll take them to the next unstoppable level. Like when you see Kansas City, like man, every time they throw the ball, it seems like it's a touchdown. Or like with the Rams when they were kind of like touchdown scoring a lot. And there's a lot of teams where you just can't, like even with I think the Saints was like that. It's like certain teams is like, man, it's always when they're really good, it's always a really good tight end. Even when Green Bay, when we had DeMichael Finley, like it's a really good tight end. Or Jimmy Graham, like I said with the Saints, is a really good tight end. Like you always have a really good tight end miss because it's just a mismatch night, man. There's nothing really that you can do other than try to say, oh, okay, I got a really big corner, but do I put my best corner on your tight end? And now everybody else has to shift and, adjust to that. So I think that tight end position is key. If they can have, somebody that can move around, move out, move in, can block and do everything. So, Trey Burton was I think he came in, even in college, like, 'cause I think he was like a baseball player first. I remember playing, I think he went to Rice, correct?
He went to Florida.
Trey Burton went to Florida?
Yeah, he played quarterback. He might have, I mean, with that said, quarterback, he might have a baseball. Did you say baseball or basketball?
Baseball. Could be wrong there.
Unless you're thinking of another Trey Burton.
Yeah, I may be.
Pretty common name.
I'll look that one up.
But nonetheless, I mean, tight end position, it's certainly big in today's NFL. And, even if you do have those weapons on the outside, it's always nice to have that security blanket there inside at tight end. And we've seen, as you mentioned, Green Bay, when they were on top of things, Jermichael Finley, New Orleans, Jimmy Graham, the New England Patriots, Rob Gronkowski. We'll see how that goes. Again, Bears report to training camp later on this month. First day of practice, let's see. Players report July 25th. First day of practice, I believe, is the 28th. Football season's right around the corner. Definitely the best time of the year, if you ask me. Not sure about you, DJ. Do you still enjoy, watching football? What do your Sunday afternoons consist of? You watching much football nowadays?
I don't watch any of it.
Better record that the Bears game, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out because I mean, if I got to do something for it, I can say that it's work now, so you gotta, watch it. I can't talk bad about Trubisky if I don't watch the game. But I tend to, I just don't. I watch bits and pieces. I just don't have time. I can't sit. No, I mean, I got 4 kids, man. Like,
Right.
I don't have time to sit around 4 hours. And if you mess around and do one game at 12 at 1 and you watch another, I mean, that's all day.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah.
It's hard for me to sit still, man. So, um, I kind of catch the highlights. Or I watch the highlights in the morning off YouTube where they make the like condensed version. And I check the box score, do that whole thing, make my analysis off that. A lot of times, oh, you know what? Okay, I understand what's going on here. But I'm a watcher, man. But I can't. It's hard for me to watch them like I want to watch it and enjoy it, but I can't because I'm like, oh, okay, I know why he's checking the guys in the box. I understand. It's just almost like work or something. I'm like, no, I don't want to do work right
You
now.
don't feel like watching tape on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, man. So, but it is interesting to see what's going on in the league now. A lot of pass and a lot of scoring, a lot of new youthful, offensive coordinators getting jobs. They ain't never had jobs. Freddie Kitchens, Nagy, people like that. So it's a time if you're young and you energetic about offense, man. You need to call somebody and tell them you can put some plays together because they are hiring.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Green Bay has their new young offensive mind too, and Matt LaFleur, former Titans offense coordinator. So again, training camp's getting started later on this month. DJ, appreciate you helping me get this thing back started and rolling. Appreciate you taking the time this evening, as always. Any final words, my man?
Man, not really, man. Stay black and die. That was funny. Nah,
That
man, but yeah, man. What we gonna do is every week.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
every
we'll do
week,
this
man.
every
I'm gonna
week.
give you my opinion on some stuff. I'm gonna be raw and uncut. I'm gonna make you upset sometimes,
And
but
of course, people could always check out your story time with DJ Moore with your buddy Earl Bennett Pro
yeah,
Style podcast.
I'm
Some
about to
really
drop
good
that tomorrow,
stories.
man. It's gonna be interesting. So I'm trying to be a little more detailed. And normally when I tell stories, I give, stuff that people wouldn't talk about, because I don't really mind. I own up to whatever it is. So it's interesting, man. It's fun. Just getting out there doing a little different stuff, and supporting Earl and what he doing. So it's interesting, man.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. And as we spoke, I mean, who's seen Earl Bennett starting his own podcast? I mean, back in your playing days, you were always friendly with the media. You're always willing to give a soundbite or an interview. I never seen Earl Bennett as that type of guy, and now to see him in that limelight and doing his own thing, now it's pretty cool, especially to see players that you don't expect that out of. Kind of do their own thing and push their own content out there. Very very cool to see.
No, it is, man. We gotta get him on the show or something. Can we do like 3 or 4 people, right?
I think so. I think we could do up to 4. Yeah.
I never tried it before, but it could be interesting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Story time with Earl and DJ on the air. We'll get that figured out. DJ, as always, appreciate it. We'll get back to it next week, talking more Bears football, touch around the NFL as well. Football season is almost here, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. And as always, stay tuned. Next week, you can follow me on Twitter at Chris Shanafelt. You can follow DJ on Twitter at DJMore30. And until next time, everybody. Cool. All right, so yeah, that was we streamed live on Twitter and Facebook Live, and it's uploading to YouTube now as we speak, and I'll get it on iTunes and Spotify as well, man. Wait a minute. Let's see. You still there?